the first trip out for the season, there are a couple new areas that I want to explore more of this year. The Olympic National Forest and North and Central Oregon. This weekend, I decided to head northwest, check out the snow levels, and see if I could make it to the Olympic Hot Springs. A couple hours into the trip, it was discovered that all the maps and the iPad were on the kitchen counter at home. This left me with just my Garmin and my iPhone. I downloaded some better detailed maps onto the iPhone and continued on. Since there was no particular plan or schedule for this trip, a quick stop was made at Sequoia Bay State Campground for a chance to stretch the legs and get out of the car for a while. My dog.
Your dog is something special. There we go.
Oh, big one. The option to get the dogs up on this ledge from here to here, under that branch, over there to that hole in the fence. I don't think the Chippy can do it. Just not gonna happen. Getting back on the road towards the hot springs, through Port Angeles, turning down Olympic Hot Springs Road, it didn't take long before we hit the closed gate. It seems that a washout has removed the road again. Without having the good maps, checking to see if there was an easy reroute was going to be difficult. We opted to get back on the road and head northwest, along the winding road that eventually got us to Cape Flattery. Plenty of light left in the day, we decided to take the short hike to the Cape for the spectacular views. Unfortunately, like my ability to get all the gear in the car before the trip, it seems my photography skills are a little rusty. As the sun started going down, we headed back to the Jeep, still not sure exactly where we were going to crash for the night. We got back on the road, remembering we had seen a sign for Ozette Campground. Following the maps we had available, we kept an eye on things in the dark. There are not many signs along the way, and the Garmin has the campground listed in the wrong location. Eventually, we got into our spot for the night. I'm pretty sure this is the lake in this campsite.
Yeah.
So I'd say the first trip out this year was all right. The goal was originally to hit the Washington National Park hot springs, and the route that I chose was closed and washed out. Apparently they fixed it for a washout, and then it washed out again, and the sign says that there's something about a river running through the road. So it's pretty funny. out here. Found, I can't even remember the name of it. I can't even pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. Campground in the Olympic National Park. That was after continuing up through and went all the way up to Cape Flattery and got some pictures off that way. It was a little hike. It was a nice, amazing. It was an amazing views. I mean, and then I got pictures of people like they climbed down some rocks somewhere or something, and they were taking in the views. It was kind of crazy to see where they were, but you know, people will do it. I pulled in last night, and the campground was obviously open, but as you can see, the lake is in the campground. So when I drove in last night, the lake was, yeah, it was kind of crazy. So that was exciting. Got in, set up camp. Got in late after dark. You know, after a few months of no using the gear or anything, it takes a little while to get everything figured back out. And but this time, yeah, doing it in the dark. Got some good rain last night, so things are gonna have to dry out. It's mostly dry. It was kind of cold. Got a Mr. Buddy heater and ran that last night, and it was just toasty up at the top of that tent. So I put the annex on for the dogs, put the dogs down in the bottom, and then I ran the Mr. Buddy heater in. I didn't turn it off. I have no idea how much gas it actually uses, how much propane gas it actually uses, but it ran all night, and I had it hooked up to the smaller of my propane tanks. It wasn't running off one of the green ones, but yeah, so that happened. That was exciting.
The first trip out for the year, it was a short trip. There was a little adventure, some amazing views. It might have been the first trip of the year, but it surely won't be the last.